And I'm back. So I left off showing you this page where I had made a journal card, and it's sitting in this flip here. And then I have the possibility of putting a tag or something in this book. Again, I can keep showing you this book because it's going to take me a while to finish it all. I left this little piece of paper in here because I thought, well, maybe I want a tab on the journal card, or maybe I want it on this flip. To add some interest there, or maybe I want it for the top of my tag. So these are all things that I would decide on my own off camera, but I've shown you tabs and these kinds of things to keep going. Another page that's very, very white. You know, I have one of the pockets made from one of the elements in the book. And then this was a book element. I liked the alphabet letters on here. I guess it's for doing embroidery as well. On the inside, it's got this little floral, which I'll probably leave. And I thought maybe I could put 2 or 3 pieces of paper in here and create a little notebook, and then just dress this up with, again, I've got a tab here. I've got one of these floral pieces. I'm not sure at this point. And I again, I want to reinforce that it's almost impossible to show you everything that I do for the book, because sometimes I go for days where I haven't quite decided what I want to do. I also left this piece of faux washi because I liked the colors when I was cutting down this page. This was the end of the page. So again, it just shows you how these little bits of that you cut off can be used as faux washi. So when I have the little booklet done, and this on the page or somewhere here, I can still add this as an element on the page at the top, at the bottom. Another thing too is this is kind of plain, so I could go back and add something like this on the bottom of the page just to enhance it a little bit. And you can see, look at that, it's just a piece of paper and some fibers stitched onto or glued onto it. And this can be a little cluster or a page element that you add on. I can also add it up at the top of the page to use it as a method of turning the page. But again, it's a little bit thick. I have to be careful and not add too much bulk in the book because it's already quite alligator. So these are the kinds of things I would add when I'm completely finished, if I decide I want to use it. So that just gives you an idea there. Here again, I'm still in the process of this page. This was the page that had the library pocket. I just made a tag. I want to add some kind of a tab or a fiber to like a tassel to hang from this. And then I had put this corner pocket here. I showed you in one of the past videos where I just lined it with some paper, folded it back. This is a napkin over top. And this is where I'm going to tuck something. I just stuck an envelope in here, but I don't know at this point what it's going to be. I see I've kind of ripped it a little bit with my paper clip, so I'm going to have to reinforce that and do something else. Although I may not have a paper clip on it, but we will see. So that was what I've done with this page so far. But again, I've still got staples from what's on the other side, so I will cover that up as well. It's just that I can go on and on. I could add something like that at the top of the book. Maybe not this again, but something. So flipping this over, this was where I had put that sort of a banner style flip. This will hold a piece of paper or something in here. I've got this purple ribbon in here because I know I want to use it, and this page will be kind of my purple page right in the middle of the book. So I will really reinforce that. I had cut off part of this belly band and just made a tag because it had the purple on it. So I will play on that a little bit more. I think it will attach here. And I've just got an extra piece of paper in here because I was going to cover this and make a little small journal card that would also tuck with this. Probably do some round cornering on it. And then I have this piece here that I thought could be a page element. And this was all cut off from the same book or the same page, but all because it had that purple in it. Here's another piece of that handmade paper that I was using, just like this. And I just thought that would make a nice little tab to add to the top of this. or to the top of this. And it could be played on with additional embellishing as well. You know, something as simple as a little piece of this to go on there, and, you know, a little flower or something, or some lace, and you've got a little cluster. So you can see how this gets really complicated to show you every little thing. But at the same time, I'm trying to make it all condensed. So this was that one little piece of embroidery that I cut out of the book, and I really like it, and I think it should be a little tuck spot right here. So again, I will probably embellish it with some of the book pages. And this is where you use a lot of the plain papers. I think I have a small one here. I have so much paper left. I could be doing 3 books with all this paper. But I would take something like this, and let's just, well, we want it to be kind of willy-nilly anyway, right? To go with this. Yeah. And I'm going to just tear off this edge. Now this is a page from the book. So I would add that to it, and let's just see, maybe some of this brown paper behind all that yet. Let's get rid of these square lines. So just adding that. There's a little bit of the book page poking out, and this all together. So that gives it a little bit of strength. I would glue all these pieces together, and, you know, maybe down here I could make a little hole punch and add some of this ribbon in a bow, or I could hole punch it up here. Actually, let's do it, because I like the idea. I'm just using a regular hole punch. Now I will further glue these pieces together, but just to get us doing something in this book. And giving myself enough to tie with. And make a bow. Probably should have done it before I cut it, but oop, didn't quite work there. There we go. So this now is a cluster, or a flip cluster. And what I would do is I would run some glue across there and attach it to the side of the page. Can you see that? And this now can hold my tag and my little journaling card, and all be part of this book page. It doesn't have to sit there. It can sit at the bottom if I wanted to sit at the bottom, and everything can attach this way and just be tucked in there. So this is just to give you a few little options and ideas again. So that's what I had planned sort of for this page. I wasn't planning to actually do the snippet just yet, but or the tuck spot just yet, but I like that. And so I still have lots of possibility, which is why I left this purple seam binding in here. But also on this page is the belly band, so I can even dress that up if I wanted to by adding something as simple as this on here, and then still tucking things here while tucking things underneath. But I don't know if you remember, when I had this piece here that I cut out, I also had several of these little flowers. And my first thought was to use them in some type of clusters or something on the page, but I decided I didn't want to have to cover this with anything else. So I'm just going to glue these down to add a little extra purple on the page, just to give it a little bit more of a pop, and then focus on what I'm going to put inside here. So that's what I'm doing there. When you turn this over, I loved the contents page. I'm leaving it as it is. All I've done so far is I made a pocket and I put a piece of paper in here, knowing that it's either going to turn into a tag or a notebook or something. This was made into a floating pocket, so it will just get pinned in with a paper clip. And then I have this piece here, which was off the same page, that I will turn into a journaling card to go with it. So it will sit on the top here, and most likely this will be the topper that I use to top it. And so that's why I have it all tucked in there to do that. Again, you know, undecided. I can't even begin to show you everything, but undecided. And then this one I just collaged on here. I folded it over because it was too big of a page, and I'm thinking I may put a flip in here, so that might be something I add on after. There's the little another one of those images of the girls. I think I have 3 in here. And then you flip it over. All I've done is I've played on the elements that were on the page, added this one on top, and then I have the page that matched this. So I said, okay, I'm going to do something. I don't know at this point what, but maybe some type of a little notebook or something where this is on the outside, because that is what they were originally instructing here. And just a piece of washi tape at the top to cover the words. I hope you can see that up there. So still undecided. I had made this pocket. I was tying in the blue and the orange together here, so that will get worked on. The music sheet just is used as elements to create sections in your page. So it's just a method of creating sections, and I used it to repair that hole that I had in the page from the coffee dyed paper. And so something will go in here as well. So I'm not sure. One journaling card and one blue tag, because they both matched the colors in here. So that's where I put this fussy cut in here. This is just a flip up. This is the one that had the hole in it. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah. And again, just tying the music in with it. There's so much more I want to do. I am not finished these pages, so it's just a start. And again, I've used different papers to create different writing spots and focal points and things that you can section off. It allows your eye to be drawn through the page once there's more on it. Because I will add things onto these music sheet pieces. You know, maybe I can do some ink stamping in the corner of a page, stamping up at the top, a little bit of washi tape. I like to use washi tape to separate areas too, but it's all in the works. Now this page, so many things went wrong here, but so this page, I had made, this was my original plan to put on the outside of the book, and I thought, no, that's way too much glitter for me. So I added it onto this page to just finish it off a little bit. And I had to refold this page because it was sticking out of the book too much. And so that kind of covers up the fold line that was underneath there. So you can see how this stuff can be used to do some minor repairs. So there was a definite fold line there, so I fixed it up. Now this still has the tassel ends hanging from it. I haven't decided what I want to do with them yet. At least at this end, I don't think I'm going to keep it. So actually, okay, let's just snip that off right now, and so that you know what I've done. Okay. And I've got this little piece left over. I'm just going to take a paper clip, a large paper clip, and I'm going to feed it through. And tie a knot. And just like this, with those leftover fibers, I might put a little dot of glue in there so I know it's going to stay. But I now have a decorative paper clip with a little extra hanging there. And these are the worst scissors. I don't know where my good ones are. They're here somewhere on the table. But I have this nice little tasseled paper clip that I can now add on to a page from the top, from the side, you know, whatever I want, just to create a little bit more interest and a little bit more color in the book. So there's your next little tip. So you see how important it is to keep all these bits and pieces. When you open this up, I have some stuff going on in here. I have another little fussy cut that I had cut out of a page. I focused on the blue. So this will get to be really blue. But when I close it, you can see that I have some browns going on here. So I still want to use this blue. But because it's mostly brown on the outside, it'll be very subtle with the blue. But it's when you open it up that you will see way more blue when I'm done. And then when you open it up, I still had one more fussy cut. I thought this page was just a page out of the book, and I just folded it in half, and I said, oh, I like those flowers. I think it's these flowers. And so now all I'm going to do is glue this onto the front to further enhance this. And on the inside, I will make a full notebook. I've cut some papers here. I just need to stagger them a little bit and trim them down to fit in here. And I will just staple it and, you know, do some decorative things on the top with a tab or something. And then that will sit in this pocket. This pocket isn't glued down yet. But again, I had these little pieces that I thought I could use to make tabs at the top and a tab at the side here to show people to open this page. This pocket is just a corner pocket, so I've just folded the two margins of the picture, and I think I've showed you that before, up to the corner here, and I will just glue this down on the corner, and this will be an open pocket that this can tuck into. Turning it over, again, kind of stuck here, but I do want to use this to cover the writing on the page. This will just tie in with the paper clip that's on this side right now. I probably will use that decorative one instead because I have one, and I will have several of them. But this is just something that kind of matched the coloring in here, so I figured, well, I'll leave that here. That was one of the pieces that was in the book. I haven't glued it down yet, but just a matter of gluing it, and then I'll put something in it. I left this as a possibility of another page element, or if we was to go up here, I think, to cover this writing here. But otherwise I really wanted to leave the writing just as it is. But again, this can change so quickly. This next one, all I have is the envelope that I had made with the children. I didn't really want to keep it for this because it's so wintry looking, but her scarf matches the fabric in this of my book. Her scarf is almost dead on match. I don't know if you can see that or not. But yeah, it's almost dead on. So I think I will play on this on the edge of this tuck pocket here. And this is already glued down. And it was the brown paper bag that had this notch already out of it. So it was perfect to use for this tuck. And then I will play on this a little bit using this and trying to come up something to make this a little bit more blending and cohesive. So that is my plan, and that's why this is sitting in here. And, you know, this can be, I don't want to make it too thick because, you know, it just adds more bulk to the page. But this is just something that, you know, will lay flat, and maybe a piece of ribbon over top to, again, bring all this together. I will look into that further. The middle of the book, undecided at this point what to do. Either I will bead these strands, or I will put tabs on them. I can show you what I did in the next part of this as we go along. This is just folded in the book. and lots of writing space and possibilities. Another one where the page was too thick or too wide, so I've just folded it over, and I will either make a flip out page or maybe glue an envelope into there, a more decorative one, not a plain white one, but I can glue an envelope into here so that you can use the envelope, or this way I should say, so that the envelope opens up and you've got a place to tuck stuff. Decorative page. Now this is where I started making envelopes. This is just the end of the scrapbook paper that I've turned into a tuck spot, so I still have lots of work to do in here. These are the pages that I'll probably put the embroidery on once I'm done. But I have this envelope here. The only thing I did was I added a little bit of that napkin on the inside of the page and glued down the sides. And I can further decorate it by adding, different elements to it. I could have a paper clip on here to have it closed. I can have a little piece of ruffle. Now, where's my ruffle? Just to remind you, this is the one where I showed you the embroidery. So I can add a piece of ruffle. I can add a piece of ruffle to the top of this page if I wanted to. I hope this is lots of the information for you. Another envelope. No idea yet what I'm doing here, but I just love the envelope, and it is glued on the sides as well. Glued down the flap to give it a little bit more strength, and it was a little bit long, and I didn't want this showing on the outside so that it has a nice finish. And there again, I can take something like my little snippet there and add that onto the edge of the envelope, just as a little spot for opening, like a little tab. I can add something like this onto here to create that same tab very easily. So lots of possibilities. Just a huge journaling space, just a nice picture with this embroidery in here. So again, this might be where I would actually add a piece of embroidery, or I could put an embroidered pocket on the bottom here. This one I haven't glued down either, is another end piece that was sticking out. So I will either glue it down or use it to tuck an envelope or something into it. This was a mixed page leftover made with the ledger and the sunflower paper, and I just have a tuck here, so I still have stuff to do here. Blank on this side, but that's like an open canvas, so I can do all kinds of things. I can tuck this envelope into here, or I can tuck paper into there. I really like the colors, so it could play on just on the edge of here. I can add one of those fancy paper clips onto the edge of here to, again, just give it a little bit extra color and pop. In cutting it up, I had a little bit of leftover yellow paper, so I just added that in to, again, bring everything together with more stuff to do. This was on the page. Same with this piece was on the page. When you turn it over, still undecided. I've just glued this flap down. That's it. It's waiting for me to cover it, which is why this paper's in here, so that I can cover that for writing on. This was that scribbler page, and I did have a whole fold out, but I turned the book around and I caught the end of it and I tore it. So I said, okay, I guess that's coming out. So now it's just a short little page in between. But then I have this beautiful page here, and I've just wrapped this around, knowing that I'm going to do something with it. This little journaling card notebook thing. And this was where I really liked the colors here, and all these colors blend so nicely together. So I figured this was going to sit here somehow, some way. And I don't know if I'm going to add a page or glue this down at this point. And this paper just kind of matched, so I left it in here thinking, well, maybe I'll use it for an envelope. Another one of these pockets. It's a little boring with the pockets, so it will get dressed up somehow, whether I put a cluster at the bottom or along the side, or, you know, I can add things onto the side of the page to further enhance it. I hope I'm doing this right. And again, this just seemed to match the colors in here, so I just tucked it in here, knowing that I'd have to cover her up because she's kind of cut in half. But I figured, well, you know, it's kind of those colors. I'll just stick it in here. Same with this. One little tag made with the leftovers of that page that had extended onto this page. So that's tucked in the book as well. Still in the works, and probably will be for a while. Now, if you watched my video called Forgotten Friends, where I did the clusters, this was one of the floral clusters I had made. I have writing on this page, so I know I'm going to cover it with this page, the blank page. And I don't know what I'm doing with this flip at this point. I think I might just leave it as it is. But I thought this was a pretty little cluster that I would embellish or glue onto the page just for an embellishment, like an element on the page, and left a lot of the color that kind of blends in with this on the page, because again, I want you to see the original book, some of it, not all of it, but some of it. This was just a piece I stuck in here because it sort of is the same kind of colors on this green page, and that's another belly band that I made. So more to come. Blank page. This is the other side of that book cover. I just stuck this paper in here to remind myself I need to put something in there, whatever I'm doing. This, again, will get covered with some fabric because it's a glossy paper. I don't want to add too much onto here, so I think I'm just going to staple a piece of nice embroidered fabric in here. I have several pieces in mind that I'm thinking about, but it all depends on how thick this book is when I'm finished. Same with this side. This is a pretty picture, but I might put something here to cover this up, and then, you know, it'll just be decorative. This was the certificate paper, just folded, not sure what I'm doing. Another pocket that I glued down with the possibility of something going inside and something to cover there. Last couple of pages is, this was the leftover from the scrapbook page at the beginning. And then I still have these two things to turn into some kind of tags that I had shown you I'd cut off the page. So I just made this into like a little flip that would be some type of a little book. And then I made this one into a flip out tag. This, you know, once I do something on the inside here, I would probably decorate with a little bit of something, which I can do a final flip through when I'm done, but you know, I can decorate it with a little piece of something like that. And because it's a double fold tag, I can actually have it sit over the edge of a page so that it hangs down on both sides. So I could probably decorate both sides of this at the same time. Am I there? Can you see it? It's so hard to go back and forth with this book. I hope I'm not annoying you too much. So yeah, this is still undecided, but I have another tuck from the brown paper, and I have another envelope that was made from the same page, or the page spread. So that is to be decorated yet as well, and further enhanced, and then something put inside of it, which takes us to the back of the book. And this is where I had glued the other end of the page. I may, because it's sticking out like that, I may go back and add something to it. I have this one tag I had made. No, that wouldn't work. I may add something like this onto the underneath and enhance it a little bit further so that you can tuck things underneath of it. I'm not sure, or just glue it down better with a little cluster on top. Something like that would work too. There's no end to what you can use to fix up your little boo-boos. So that's okay. I guess I've done part 12. So the next thing that we will be on to is starting the nesting journal, which I will start next week, which we'll start back at part 1 with nesting journal. And as I work on this book, if I do anything unusual, I will stop and show you in each of those segments. But if not, I will just continue to work on it. And then we will work on our nesting book on the top, and then have the whole thing put together so that you can see everything all at once. And then I can do a final flip through if it's not too boring for anybody to see. I can do a final flip through way at the end when we've done it all. I still have 4 more books to work on, and they will be done off camera, and I will do a flip through after, and I will explain anything that I do that's unusual or different from what I've done so far. And I will continue to do that as we go along. And those videos will probably get done individually. As I finish one book, I will do the video on the final flip through for it. Because these will, a couple of them will be for sale. A couple of them I'm keeping, but a couple will be for sale. And they all have very interesting techniques and ideas that I have thought of to use in the books. But those are things, again, that are more at the advanced level. And so to try and explain it all, we would never finish this series. So I hope you understand what I'm saying with that. So we will move on and do the nesting book. And then Tuesdays, I will start the techniques books so that we can build those techniques one at a time and put them into the books. And that will be so much fun. I realized that is the way to go. So that will start next Tuesday. And then we will start the nesting book next Monday. Okay. So that's it. That's all for this video. Please leave comments below. Please let me know what you think about what's going on and what we're doing here. Thank you so much for following. I hope you've made a book. I hope you've been inspired to make a book, and I hope you will continue with it. I hope you're not frustrated in any way. And if you are, please contact me. I will help you and walk you through whatever I can to get your book finished. So I wish you all a very creative day and a creative week, and I look forward to seeing all of you very soon. Bye for now.